Yo, what up, motherfuckers? Welcome to another episode of Night Trap Podcast. The Game Trap. We haven't done a Game Trap in a little bit. I've done some playthroughs, whatever, some gameplays of Super Nintendo shits, a bunch of shit. We can't have nobody in the dungeon right now, so it all looks like shit. But today we have a special guest, very special guest. You guys haven't seen him in like months. I don't know how many months. A lot of months. Right now he's semi in quarantine because he working. But Dr. Porn, what up, bitch?
Hey, I'm back. I'm in the screen. I'm stuck inside this internet video.
You're back in black with that dildo right there.
I'm back in black right there. But before we continue, let me open some beverages right here.
Dr.
We are
Porn,
not sponsored.
Dr. Porn.
Not yet.
Dr. Porn is well, we are sponsored, but we can't mention the sponsor because they didn't pay for this one. But we were sponsored.
Well, sponsor me. We're sponsored by Dr. Porn today.
We're sponsored by Dr. Porn, dildos, Monster, Fiesta, new flavor right here.
Dildos Macabre right here.
What does it say? What? It's all backwards.
Ultra Fiesta? Whoa! What does it say here? We can't say it. We can't say it, but we can show it.
Get the party started. But anyways, so today we wanted to do an episode on Final Fantasy VII remake, not remaster, remake. And I want to talk also. It's gonna be our squareenix fucking. How do they call it? Squeenix.
Yeah, this is the squareenix episode will be.
So I'm talking a little bit about Trials of Mana for the Switch, which that one is a remake too, I guess. Yes, it's a remake. And
yeah, it is.
But it's not called Trials of Mana Remake, which is kind of confusing. But anyways, that one was Super Nintendo. The Final Fantasy VII was for PlayStation 1, which I don't know. I don't know why people call it PlayStation 1 because it was just called PlayStation.
Yeah. Technically speaking, it's just PlayStation. PlayStation 1 was a PS1 Little. Remember that? That it was like a much more portable, you could call it?
The PlayStation Mini.
Yeah.
But didn't they say that those PlayStations like fucking crapped the bed right away or something? They had something wrong.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember. But anyways, we're talking about those two games mainly. Maybe remembering some RPGs here and there because I know Dr. Porn is really huge on RPGs. Not so much, but I like some. I really like the really good ones.
There's something wrong with you if you're not so much into RPGs.
No, because I like action RPGs. The only game that I like turn-based that was like that is Super Mario RPG and Final Fantasy VII and VIII, which are the ones that I finished completely. That were turn-based, and I guess Pokemon.
And when it comes to the Final Fantasies, actually 7 and 8 are the best stories they have.
Well,
so far.
Some people prefer like 9 aside from 8, but I like 8.
I like 8 because it's still like the classic story, and it has a lot of a lot of conspiracy theories we can call it in the game about after the first CD.
It's the CW of the Final Fantasy games. It's the one that's like Smallville and.
Yeah, it is mostly like
with the teenagers and shit.
Everything teenagers that look like chicks.
The Riverdale.
Yeah, it's more like Riverdale. It is more like Riverdale, but still the stories are awesome.
I grew up with that one. I grew up with Final Fantasy VII, of course. That led me on to like get Pokemon when it came out back in the day, and to me,
it did let everyone into Pokemon.
Action RPGs are the ones that I like, where you don't do turn-based, where it's like The Legend of Zelda, like Trials of Mana, like Kingdom Hearts, I guess, to some point, because it got a little crazy. Goddamn, I'm burping.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, it's not the stories are kind of confusing.
Yeah, well, it's just that you have to follow a lot of stupid bullshit and
Yeah, I don't know if we can consider it now like let's call it DLCs, but remember that there's 2.1 or 2.3, and then we have 2.5, and now we have 3,
no,
and
it
now
was
we're gonna
like
have 3 point something. It's all messed up.
it was like Kingdom Hearts remix, demastered with some bullshit. Recoded.
Right now they sell. Yeah, something weird.
Because I used to play I finished the one on Game Boy Advance, and they remade that one for the PlayStation on the collection, which I don't know why they did that shit. Just whatever, who cares? And then I have the last one, but I didn't finish it because I was like, I felt too old for that game already. I don't know.
It is. You kind of feel old for it because it's still kind of it is childish when it comes to all the Disney characters there. But it's the only game we could say that Mickey's kind of a badass because he's always like in shadow mode.
Yeah, but anyways, when you talk about RPGs, the two RPGs that come like right away to people's minds when they're like, oh shit,
Final Fantasy.
Well, Final Fantasy VII is one of them. I say 7 more than anything, and Chrono Trigger is the other one. Those are
basically. I think Chrono Trigger came out first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because that was for the Super Nintendo. But those are the two. I mean, you could say Legend of Zelda is an RPG, but I think it's more of just an adventure game than anything else. But I guess it goes here and there. I guess
it's more of an adventure.
The one that's an RPG more than everything is Breath of the Wild, I would say, because that's the one where your stats are going up and all that shit, and you're getting potions.
Yeah, plus there's and there's extra missions. It's open world. It's completely different than the classic Zeldas.
So before we go to Final Fantasy VII, I'm gonna talk about Trials of Mana just because I didn't finish it, but I've been playing it. I know you finished the Final Fantasy VII, so I
you're the one with most time in your hands.
Yeah,
and you didn't finish it.
No, well, because I've been doing this shit, and I know people like it gets tiring just being at home and.
Don't blame the show.
No, that's what I told Raul. Raul was like, "Oh, we're not good enough for you." I was like, "Good." It's not blaming the show, but it's that like I like doing the show, but editing it fucking sucks. But anyways,
yeah. Like one thing's recording, the other thing is what goes behind the camera.
I just want to hire somebody to just edit because I don't.
Not yet.
I'm fucking tired of that shit. But anyways, so Trials of Mana came out, I don't know, back in the day in fucking Super Nintendo. So this one's, I guess Trials of Mana is even earlier than Final Fantasy VII too. But
it is.
This game, it's a pretty cool game. I think it's pretty simple. The story's kind of stupid. The story's kind of like that Goku story, but there's I think there's 7 or 5. I don't remember. I think it's 5 characters, and they make you choose 3 of them at the beginning. And while the story goes, you're gonna choose all 3, and then you're gonna choose your main one, the one that you're gonna use the most. They all have different stories. They all interconnect. So when you're playing the game, let's say you choose like the fucking guy that's like a knight or whatever. So then you'll play through his story, what happened to him in his town, why is he trying to go look for the Trials of Mana, whatever it is. You know, it's like the Dragon Balls. They're gonna look for the Dragon Balls. But during the game, you encounter the other people, and then the other people tell you their story, and you can either play their story or you could just skip it and be like, nah, I just joined my party. But at the end, you end up kicking off the people that you didn't choose. So it all interconnects with it. So technically, you could play this game 5 times because it's 5 different stories. But what I like is that when you're playing the game, you can actually change between the three characters. You can just change, and then they're all leveling up at the same time as you. So you can just change and buy powers for them, and it's a pretty cool game. And it looks like Chrono Trigger kind of. It has that style, but it's all in 3D. It's pretty linear.
Correctly, it is a Chrono Trigger style, even the drawings and everything.
Yeah, this one's all, it's all 3D and shit. The acting's kind of horrible, but at the end of the day, I think it holds up. It almost feels like a like a Dragon Quest, like the story, the Las Aventuras de Fly, kind of feels like that.
Oh yeah.
You do get a lot of potions. It's really hard to fucking die in this game, because you get a lot of potions, you get a lot of stuff, especially like you, Dr. Porn, that like looks for everything. You're gonna find on your way everywhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of when it comes to RPGs, I'm a kind of guy that tries to do 100% as possible.
Well, you find
Close
a bunch of potions, a bunch of chests like randomly everywhere, a bunch of like enemies that give you. So you never run out of fucking potions of anything, of elixirs, of anything. You never run out. The combat is pretty cool because when you go into a fight, let's say like you see somebody and they start attacking you, it's pretty seamless that it goes into fight mode, like just out of the blue. And then when you finish, it says you win, but you're like still playing the game. So
all right, so there's no like that cutscene where you're going to the fight.
The only cutscene that
Straight
they have the cutscene for winning when you beat a boss. That's the only time that there's a cutscene. The first boss is like this big ass fucking spider that you just have to like kill, break the eyes or whatever. But I mean, it's a pretty cool game. It's pretty. I would say it's pretty easy. It does take a long time, like all RPGs, I guess. And it gets a little grindy sometimes, that where you just have to like level up, in order to like pass a fucking boss or whatever.
Yeah, that's always the stuck point of every RPG. As soon as you say you reach a good level and keep on the story, and then you'll hit another brick wall.
But it's pretty.
Always.
It's pretty fun, like to learn new combos, to like fucking, because you're just like mashing buttons basically, and it tells you, it teaches you some combos to do, and they all look pretty cool. Your magic looks pretty cool. And I think the story is like, it's so, but when you're playing the game, you're just trying to get to the trials of mana, which is like in this fucking mountain or whatever, which is like every RPG's fucking like, like, oh, we gotta go get there, so we can be the heroes.
There's always a point you gotta reach, but it's legendary according to every story.
But this game, like, it looks cartoony and everything, but it's pretty gorgeous, because like every time you reach a new area, it shows you, or a town, it shows you the town and shit. But I like it, like, let's say if you go to a town and you go to the top of the castle, you can see the whole town, and it looks pretty cool. And you can actually jump off and shit. Like, it won't like have that invisible wall and shit. Like, you can actually like platform everywhere and shit. Like, I think it's a pretty cool game.
There's no digital blockage, what they call it.
Well, there is, like, in the sense of like you can't fucking go like just wherever you want. Like, it's kind of linear to where you're going. There's some areas that are big where you have to like look around to find the shit or whatever, but it's all contained areas. It doesn't feel too much like, it's not like Breath of the Wild where you can just go wherever. It's more of like, okay, you gotta go from point A to point B, and you don't feel like they're telling you go from point A to point B. It just feels like you're like, okay, you know where you need to go. Especially when you press at the map, it tells you, like, it puts a star to where you're supposed to go. But you can go around and like fucking talk to people and find out like shit or whatever. And it's a pretty cool game. I liked it for what it is. It was, I don't think it was 60. I think it was like $50 or $40. I don't remember.
For the Switch?
Yes, and it's a physical copy.
That's rare. That's rare that Switch goes under 60.
And well, no, that one is because I don't know if it's because of a remake. A lot of the remakes are like going for that price. I know they're gonna remake a bunch of other shit for the Switch right now too, and I know there's some remakes coming out like Tony Hawk, and there's another one. The one that I want is Destroy All Humans. That shit I'm gonna.
Oh, the one with the aliens.
Yeah, that one's coming out. The remake for.
Yeah, that's a cool game.
They're gonna put that one out, and that shit looks cool. But yeah, I recommend Trials of Mana if you like RPGs, especially. It's an action RPG, no turn-based, but if you like RPGs and you just want to get your fix with like, or if you finish like, let's say like Dr. Porn, you finish fucking Final Fantasy VII and you want to fucking keep, going the RPG shit, this one's a pretty good one. If you never played the one for Super Nintendo, I'd like really recommend, because I had never played the one for Super Nintendo, and this one was pretty cool actually. So I give this shit an 8.5 out of 10, bitch.
God damn, that's a good fucking score right there, especially for a remake.
Especially
for Nintendo.
Trials of Mana, Secret of Mana, all the manas, man. What up,
Mana,
Mana?
like the vent?
Yep, Mana. The Trials of
Mana?
Mana.
That would be weird. You start finding El Vampiro and all those guys there. So when you reach the mountain, they start playing the cheated music.
The Trials of Mana are like how they got big. So like you gotta suck some dicks like to get there.
you gotta suck several dicks to go to that point.
At the beginning, it's fair going like, okay, I want to be huge. Whose dick do I gotta suck? And that's where the adventure starts.
And they start with a big cock. What's it called from Harold Kumar?
The
cock sandwich. The cock sandwich. Meat cock sandwich.
The meat cock sandwich. So fucking. You have a cock right there. You can suck it. You can suck it.
No.
It's okay.
That's Hershey.
It's okay. It's okay. We promote fluidity.
we promote promiscuity. Thumbs up.
But anyway, so that was my Trials of Mana. I didn't finish it. Full disclaimer, didn't finish it. I have a lot of games to play still, and hopefully, I'm waiting to all the remake that just came out. Wonderful 101. I gotta play that shit. I haven't played it. I bought that shit. It was $40 for the Switch, and I haven't played it. So it's a platinum game. So platinum games are really good. So you know that shit.
Right.
Holy shit. So.
It's been tight.
Oh fuck! It's because I ate lasagna, dude, and it smells like Mondays.
Shit. All right, Garfield.
Yeah, that's why I said, because Garfield likes and hates Mondays. So, so Dr. Porn, let's get into your Final Fantasy VII, which is a game that came out back in 1997 for the PlayStation 1. Like
how ironic! In '97, Final Fantasy VII came out, right?
And Final Fantasy VIII didn't come out till like '99 or some shit. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it was '99. But all right, so this is a warning. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers. Game's already been out for a while, so I don't give a fuck.
I mean, and if you played Final Fantasy VII, the first one, I think.
Here's the thing. If you're already a veteran of Final Fantasy VII, the original, there's gonna be quite a lot of different things throughout the story. So if you think you know the original story, just keep in mind this. Things may change and will change according to whatever comes out after this game. All right, so
Aaron lives.
Hold on. There's still. Hold on. When we get to the ending, I'll explain what I can see about my playthrough. All right.
They have to kill Aaron because that's like one of the best fucking moments in game history.
It is. Till this time, I still play Final Fantasy VII. I downloaded it on. I bought it actually for the PlayStation Network, and I have it on my PS4. So I played it again and again.
You know they have that shit for the Switch.
I'm not gonna do it. Final Fantasy VII.
Final
Fantasy VII.
They have 8 and 9
on PlayStation.
7, 8, and 9.
I have 8 and 9. I have all of them. I still have my old console, so I still play them. Well,
they're all $10.
Right.
Buy them.
I already have them.
Buy them again. Buy them.
Let's go back to the main story here. FF7 Remake. All right.
But
so
we know
to start this.
We know it's all bullshit though, because in fucking Crisis Core, they tell you that Cloud is a piece of shit.
Oh, they tell you that on the original.
Yeah,
if you were someone that actually read everything that they say, you find out through the gameplay that Cloud's just fucking nuts.
In Crisis and fucking the Core, Crisis Core, for the PSP, they tell you that Zack was he's the fucking hero. Cloud is a piece of shit.
No, yeah. Since Final Fantasy VII, when they go back to Midgar, the small town. I can't remember the name of the town. Fucking forgot. Where Cloud and Tifa are from. That's when he starts remembering that Cloud was there. Zack was there, and he was just a fucking normal army soldier. So he wasn't actually a soldier elite like Zack was.
So Cloud is a Beyonce, and the other guy
basically,
is like
Cloud. Cloud originally killed Sephiroth, something that Zack couldn't do.
So
That's when they found Genova.
Cloud
Killed Sephiroth. Cloud killed Sephiroth out of just pure fucking luck, but he still got killed before Sephiroth by the dust. All right.
So Cloud is a fucking Mr. Satan, Mr. Satan.
No, yeah, it's like that, like Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z. He's just someone who takes advantage of someone else's success.
He takes the credit. So he's
he takes the credit.
He's the Justin Timberlake of NSYNC.
You could say that, yeah.
He's a Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit.
That's a much better analogy. Yeah, but that's what it is. Cloud only gets a Mako infusion, you could call it, to become a soldier just out of an experiment before he died for Hojo.
It's Mako.
Oh, Mako. like semen?
Yeah, it's Mako.
Alright, so he gets the green Mako.
Que no se te vaya el Mako, que no se te vaya el Mako.
Yeah, but still, yeah, we all know Cloud's just someone who's living actually Zack's dream, all right? So everyone knows Zack is dead. If you play Crisis Core, you know more in depth of everything. So we're not gonna go through there. Let's start with the remake.
That's a good game, though.
All right. Yeah, it is. It clears a lot of fucking doubts. But here, on this new one, the remake, there's a bunch of different things that all veterans are gonna notice. First of all, it's gonna be obviously the visuals. But you do have a different fighting mechanics. No longer the turn-based. It's more, let's compare it. It is more comparable to Final Fantasy 12 than 15. A lot of people compare with 15. The difference with 15, you can fall off a cliff.
It's an action RPG.
It is, with the lack of you are not able to fall from a cliff. That's why I compare more to the 12.
Because dumbasses were falling off cliffs everywhere.
Yeah, 15, if you didn't have good control of your camera, you're fucking done. You just fell off a cliff and that's your fucking story. That's it.
I'm gonna go get this Mako and
yeah! And then you die. But here's the thing, all right, this is not a full game. What do I mean by that? It's just the first CD from the original. That's what the story is. So everything's gonna be at Midgard. You don't go out of there, of the city. So it's basically just the story of Avalanche against what's called Shinra.
And so basically, they're probably gonna release all the other ones for like PS5.
No, it's already been established. It's gonna be for PS5. They haven't said if it's gonna be one more CD or two more. But
or a hard drive. A fucking hard drive. Here.
According to the rumors, it might just be like I don't know, like a download or let's call it USB. Or an
it's gonna be a download that when you try to put it on your PS4, el PS4 se va a ir a...
It's just gonna get sucked into a different dimension.
You're gonna go to the darkest timeline. Anyway,
here's a good. Anyways, back to it. So the gameplay is no longer turn-based; it's open. By that I mean that you just run around, you start fighting. Yeah, you need to press a lot of squares. Square is gonna be your attack, and throughout the fight, you can change your characters.
Keep talking while I'll bring the Buster Sword.
What? You have it?
Well, the one I have. Let me bring it.
See that.
Keep talking.
Bring it. All right. So back to the game. So it is turn-based, like I said. You can change characters in the fight. So let's say if you just put Cloud as your main character. Oh shit, there it is. Well, that's actually that Buster Sword's from the movie, from Advent Children.
This is from fucking Think Geek. They didn't have the license, so they just made their own.
Yeah, so they just went or clapped on the fucking the Buster Sword from Advent Children.
It's a big ass fucking sword though, and then it has lights, but it doesn't have any batteries. I still think it's pretty cool. It used to be
alright.
It used to be $100, and I bought it for $30.
It's probably 10 now.
No, I tried to sell it, and like people wanted to buy it for 40 or some shit. I was like, nah, just keep it.
Nah, just fuck that. If it's for 100, alright, sell it.
It looks like a cool prop for the background, so whatever. Okay, well, let me get in here. Yeah, stupid ass sword. Anyways, like you were saying. My... There you go.
You don't fit in the camera.
I'm just gonna stay like this the whole show.
All right, it's gonna hurt your neck, but all right. So back to it again.
It's not even heavy.
So
it's like fucking plastic. Dude.
What, foam? Oh, it's plastic. Oh, that's sad.
No, it is foam. It's foam with plastic inside. I guess it doesn't bend. Like...
So it doesn't shrivel to the side.
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna put it.
Flaccid, so it doesn't go flaccid.
There you go. So I have my big ass dildo. You have your.
I have chocolatey over there. But yeah. So in between the fights, you can change your character. Let's say you're using Cloud as your main one, right? Of your team leader.
So the same as in trials.
You can just go ahead and keep. Yeah, exactly. All you need here is just switch. I don't know. I don't like what Tifa is doing by herself. I mean, but you switch it with the D-pad.
You know, you were looking at Tifa's boobs the whole fucking time.
Oh, they're still amazing.
I knew it.
No, but here's the thing. If I had to choose, it would be Eret.
Oh, and
you can tell. You can tell that if you go back home to Eret, there's gonna be a warm meal waiting for you. You go back home to Tifa, you're gonna have this thing in the back of your head. She's such a fucking bimbo.
They don't let you. They don't let you change the names like in the original though.
No, no longer.
Nah, that sucks. Cause you remember when you used to like play.
I remember I used to always rename.
Everybody,
you could change the names.
Everybody's like poo poo caca.
I remember I used to name Tifa. She was always little teeth.
Dude,
yeah, little tits.
To me, it was always like my friends and shit. So basically, Final Fantasy VII was like Mexican, like. Oh, that's Hector y
that's
Ram.
Pedro,
and
Hector,
yeah,
Felix.
Ahorita Carlos. They're all white. They're all like super white and shit, except for Baron, of course. But like, they're all like, oh, ahí está la pinche Lorena, güey. El pinche.
Como chinga la chichona.
It was always like my friends, and then I stopped doing that shit when I learned that like you put names to them, and then like they fucking die. And you're just like, ah, fuck.
You just kill your friend.
You're all happy to see them when you go to school. You're alive!
Oh man, I miss you so much this weekend.
Oh, te quiero mucho, Jorge. What?
And Jorge's like, get the fuck out of here.
For real. Anyway, so the action RPG shit.
So yeah, you don't change the names anymore, which, it ain't a bad thing. Because now you actually hear the story, so it's voiced actors, so which is cool. Now the graphics, it's changed a lot. Since they originally brought up that they were gonna do the remake. I don't know if you remember the original the renderings, we could call them.
Yeah, it was just like fucking spheres and fucking triangle, fucking triangles.
Yeah, it was just like octagons all around there. But then when
I'm gonna take a picture of this for Suzu.
All right, then and
then don't block the dildo.
Oh, hold on, it's right there.
There you go.
All right, so I mean the renderings for the original announcement for the remake, it changed a lot from then, because Cloud kind of looked a little bit buffer in the original announcements back. I don't know, I think it was like probably like 5 years ago, before when they announced it. But now
I think it was probably more. Haven't we been waiting for this shit for like 10 years?
No, the remake's we've been waiting since '98.
But, since the next day that the Final Fantasy came out.
Since you finish it the next day, you want a remake.
I want a remake, bitch!
I think since PlayStation 2, we've been waiting for this. But
probably.
No, it's been since the PS4 came out. I think that's when everyone thought there was gonna be a remake, and it was just a rumor, and it just finally came out. But still, going back to it.
When Final Fantasy 11 came out, everybody was like, "Yeah, we need Final Fantasy 7."
Well, the thing is, with 11, it's online, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And then we got 12, which is the same battle schematics as we have now in 7. Then we got 13, which was a complete fucking fail. And then they brought 13.2, which I don't know why they did that.
And then 13.3, and then 13.4.
And no, here's the thing. Everyone thought that 13 was gonna be the whole story about Noctis, which came out to be Final Fantasy 15. But the only one that actually made it online good was 14, and it's still ongoing. They even have I think Japan made a whole like a novela out of it, like a kid, son just actually getting along with his dad only on Final Fantasy 14. But that's a different fucking game.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I fucking keep forgetting about the lasagna. Anyways.
So going back to FF7R. So yeah, alright. He looks different. Everyone looks different since the original rendering for the remake. But it's fucking beautiful, the whole design. You don't get like any pixelation. They took their time, they did it well. So my opinion, they took advantage of the whole Blu-ray technology. Because a lot of PlayStation 4 games, they don't do that. We get a lot of lag. This one, I haven't actually felt any lag. But that's probably because I have an external hard drive. So I don't have my internal hard drive all cluttered up. That might be it. But no, my PS4 doesn't make a noise at all. It's just well kept taken care of.
Le tienes que bajar a la tele, güey.
No, okay. That probably.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Now going back to the story here. The battle schematics, like I said, it's not turn-based anymore, but you actually choose. I think you hit the X button, and a little menu comes on the side, and it slows down the whole battle system. It doesn't pause it, so you can choose either a spell, an item, or an ability. But it actually slows it down so much that you can have time to read whatever you wanna eject next as let's say a fire spell. But you can see on the background that the enemy is still attacking you. It's on its way. You're still moving slow, so it's good. I like that. It makes
it's like
you
bullet time.
It is bullet time, but much slower. So thank you for that, Max Payne.
You just stay like that. No, pues así marca.
Yeah. No, they'll still hit you. Like if you wait a long time, it'll eventually the sword, the paw, whatever is gonna attack you is gonna hit you. You will see it, but in super slow mo, which I actually like that. And now I remember the original. You kept changing the swords or every other weapon, so you can get more materia in them. Because the stronger the sword, more material you can put in there. Except for like a couple of the last swords on Cloud, like ultimate weapon and that. And this one, you keep them all the way till the end, but you find the new ones. You have 6 weapons for each character, and there's like it's an ability grid that you have. For every battle that you do, you get not only experience points, but also APs, which are the points for your materia, which you can upgrade in them, and the SP points are for your weapons. So when you go to the ability grid, it's like it looks like fucking planets around with a bunch of moons. You need to activate those moons to actually get that ability. And every weapon has that extra ability extra slot for materia. So you can just go and add more and more depending on your weapon. For example, the Buster Sword, you can keep it till the end and make it really strong, either with magical. Well, mostly you're gonna make it stronger with magics, because the attack power on every weapon needs to a certain point. Even the best one that you find closest to the end of the game, which is the twin steel blade, something like that. It's based more as a magical sword compared to the what's it called? Edge Ledger, something like that, which has a shitload of attack points, but shitty magical points.
But
so you gotta like strategize.
Does it change in the actual game? Because I remember you could do that shit.
Oh yeah,
it does change, and it looks the same.
Yeah, it changes the whole time. Like if you're going to,
can you just put a gun?
No, well, that would be awesome.
A bazooka. Cloud with a bazooka.
With a tank, fuck it. No, but here's the thing. Like, for example, most of the time you're using Cloud as your main character. So if you have like a different sword, you took away the Buster Sword and you find a nail bat, which is an iconic fucking weapon, which is just a bat with nails on it. You will see it on the back of Cloud. Always, there's a bat with nails on it, which it's a shitty weapon, man. It takes a bunch to swing. I wouldn't recommend it like in the original one. But it's fucking cool that, and then you have the resting spots in this game instead of trying to find like a 10th item, which will make you rest on the map. Either you find a bed like on a hotel, or there's benches around towns that you just sit on them and they'll recover your whole HP and MP, which is kind of coincidence.
It'd be cool if like there was like mattresses just like in the floor.
Well, you're gonna see a bunch of mattresses because there's the slums, but you cannot use them. That would be awesome, because you could be able to just rest in the middle of a fight.
Then
But,
the new game plus gives you an option that says "fuck Aerith." Oh shit!
If it is, I haven't got it.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta go.
I'll be right back in 3 hours. No, but but here's the thing. The cool thing about what they did now, and this, I think they thought about it a lot. When you go and take a seat on the bench so you can rest, Cloud grabs the handle of the sword, because you know they're fucking huge, and pulls it to the side so it lifts up so he can go sit down. I think that was a good fucking
Instead of the sword going through the fucking
going
bench.
through everything. It doesn't go through anything, well, that I noticed. But I think that was a cool thing they did for this. But the whole story, man, that's when everything changes. And here's why. Throughout the game, there's a few dialogues that you might remember from the original one, for those that are much more hardcore fans than I am. Because I met people that fucking know every goddamn dialogue. In this one, there's a bunch of shit that will affect your further progress on the game. For example, I know you don't remember that place where Cloud dresses like a chick. Remember that?
I do remember that. He looks like one of those the Lil Bo Peep or whatever, like the fucking.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. All right.
Yeah, the ones with the bow and shit. Like yeah.
So when you reach to that point, depending on how you talk to Tifa and Aerith and all the decisions you make previously on just battles that you didn't even think were gonna affect the whole outcome, the dialogues might change a little bit, but more importantly, the dresses. For example, there's an area where you're talking to Tifa because you have an apartment next to Tifa, but you're not allowed to peeping Tom, which sucks.
I want to do it.
But actually, you ask her on a date that you never get to it because of stupid Barrett.
For that, you have to play Pervert Fantasy VII.
Yeah. But I remember that she asked you, what kind of dress should I wear? And there's 3 options. I think one's exotic, something classic, and...
Exotic.
I think it's what's wrong with what you're wearing. Yeah. So I remember I chose exotic. And when you reach to that point that you're on that, it's more like a brothel, I would say, on Sector 6. When you chose exotic, she's wearing like a mini skirt kimono, which she looks good on it, but if I would have chosen the mature one, she would have had more like what can I say it? More like a big, like one of those British old school dresses without the big asses, just tied to the body with a big cleavage. So I kind of screwed that one up. But I went with the whole dialogue. Oh shit! Oh, fell! Technical difficulties.
We lost him.
Wait, am I back? Yes,
You're
I'm back.
good. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, the phone fell out.
That happens to Susie all the time. So,
but here's the thing: there's still 3 different dresses for her, and for Aerith, I chose the best ones because she look. You see some cleavage on her, and then this one they put tits on her, which is nice. More like a C cup, nice handful. She looked nice. The red dress. Cloud looked at her and he was stupefied, but he always looks kind of stupefied. And then also it affects all the decisions you make on Cloud's dress now. So that will be more like for those, how can we call it? For those trophy hunters, because each dress has a different trophy for the game. So if you're doing that, just make sure you cheat and go online and see what will be the dialogue you need to take for each kind of dress. So
just
you need to play it 3 times.
At the fucking completionist, he's probably gonna do all that shit.
Yeah, that's what I did after I finished the game. I went there, what did I do different? And then I saw the cleavage on Tifa. I went like, fuck!
All right, let's move it on.
Well, I will redo it now that I started the hard mode. But that's one thing. And what else? All right, let's go back to the story. All right, now in the story, it's everything the same deal. Avalanche, it's going against Shinra. The whole beginning of it will be right when Barrett comes out of the train and tells Wedge, that's a fat guy. I think it is a fat guy, and the other bitch that always trying to get with Cloud and Vix. Can't remember the name of the chick. But in this game, and well, the original, they didn't have that much of dialogues. It's just the first part of the first CD. And this one, they're way more into the main story. You actually collaborate with them in a lot of missions, because that's another thing that this game has now. It has more side quests, especially for side quests, especially more when you're by yourself doing the whole merc thing, the whole merc job, which is basically Cloud's new job after leaving Soldier from his imagination, because you will know he's nuts. And but yeah, you actually have more.
He's just a retard at home, like this.
Kinda. If it would have been a remake of the 8, I would have believed it, because we all know that after the first CD, Squall died. Everything else is just a fucking memory, but it's a different game. Not a memory, it's more like I don't know, like a dream. But yeah, this fucking game, it changes a lot. So a lot of the story, it's basically linear when it comes to the main story. But when you start doing all the side quests, a lot of things changes. For example, when you're in Sector 7 in Midgar, you talk a lot to the kids, which is something that Cloud hates, children. But the kids are always following you like in the original. But in this one, you actually do jobs for them. And they have like their own store. It's like a little black kid dressed as a Moogle. And I think his name is Moogie. And throughout the whole game, you're going to find either in chests or on boxes that you can destroy. You'll find Moogle coins, which is the things that he values more as money. And the good thing about that store, you can get like rare stuff that you won't be able to get all over the game. So for example, especially when it comes to Barrett's handguns, he has one, the claw, and that you won't be able to get, the pincers, that's what it's called. You won't be able to get throughout any other store. So a bunch of things you need to buy through that kit. So it is good to be collecting a lot of shit that you found on the ground. And when it comes to the material,
el Barrett.
Yeah, like he always should have been. And here's the thing about the game. It doesn't matter who you are. If you play the original, you hated Barrett. And then this one, you're still gonna hate him. For me, he has always been a useless character. Although he has some use in this game, because there are a few enemies that are just posted, like stationed in higher places, and he has the gun.
Does he still carry the girls on his shoulders?
Nope, not anymore.
Ah, man. Fuck this game. 0 out of 10. I'm just kidding.
Now, they kind of tone it down, because if you think about it, it kind of sounds a bit
no touchy.
No touchy. But but yeah, I still hate Barrett. Fuck that character. But you still gotta use him for some for certain enemies that are in the like in upper levels and will be able to reach. But yeah, the whole map thing is always it's now different. You're able to explore all around the city. Now, like I said, it's more compared like to 12, because you won't be able to jump everything like on the 15. For example, the 15 you were able to actually climb a rock and fall off of it. This one you're not.
Well, they're probably gonna do that for the next part, because
I think it will, because the next part it's out of Midgar.
It's when it opens up.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's where everything changes now in the story, because throughout the gameplay, besides the little things that you're gonna see different, like choosing different dialogues to get a different dress, or to get more affection from either Tifa or Eret, because I always go for Eret. There's a scene where they're laying on the ground of the fucking I think you're in the sewers. That's after you do the whole cross-dressing, and you're about to choose, who do I wake up first, Tifa or Eret? And depending who you choose, it's gonna be who you're gonna be more attached up in the game, and it's also gonna be a different cutscene there. when you reach Aerith's house with Barret, Marlene, and Tifa. And if you choose Aerith to pick her up first, to wake her up first, you're gonna see Aerith when she's recently being kidnapped for, well, not kidnapped. She technically goes by voluntarily to save Marlene with the Turks. And which is a good thing. The fucking Turks now they look like badasses. They don't look like fucking boy band. Well, except for one who still looks like he's from NSYNC.
Well, everybody looked kind of like shit in the original game, except for the cutscenes, maybe. But the fucking monillos were kind of dumb.
Yeah, well, they look like Mighty Maxes.
No, but I don't know. Like, it's just like the very basic of because everything was like a painting, and then the monillos were like just like fucking shapes.
The only thing weren't around. Well, yeah, it was original console. What was it, like 64 bits? If I remember.
No, I don't think it was bits anymore because by the point that it's a CD, there's no more bits.
So it would be what, MBs?
I don't know. It's something.
Well, let's call it just pixels. Fuck it.
Anyways,
there were more squares in this pixelation.
Continue.
But yeah, like the whole story. All right, so before I continue with the story, I gotta mention there's also on the side quests you'll find a bunch of mini games, and I got stuck in a lot of them because I wanted to be Cloud to be the number one, not everyone, and not only Cloud, because Tifa is also involved with a few of them. For example, on when you reach the seventh heaven, which is Barret's bar, where he I could say he kind of prostitutes Tifa there. Because it's a shitty bar, and because she has the big tits, she's gotta be there working. So, there's like a dart game, and Biggs, has like the first the number one spot, and I didn't know how darts work actually. I just grab them and just throw them at the bar and hopefully never hit anyone. And this one, I realized how the whole point system works on darts. I didn't know that you start with 350 points, and you gotta reduce them depending on
what you hit.
What you hit. So I learned that, and so it took me like an hour to finally make it into the first place because I wanted to get it perfect, like 3 shots every round. And the game tells you how to do it, but it gets to a point that you get too cocky and you keep fucking up. That's what I did. That's why it took me a while. That's one, and then there's also the mini games at the gym when you reach Sector 6. On that one, you do the sit-ups. That's with Cloud. You're gonna actually follow a line that will tell you which fucking button to press, and the more you keep advancing, the colors of the buttons are just gonna fade away. So you gotta remember the whole pattern to hit. Same with Tifa when you go back with them. I think that wasn't. The second time you go to Sector 6 would be chapter 9 or 14. And Tifa there, she does the whole pull-ups. So it's a different pattern now. And there's also another mini game before you get into the whole cross-dressing Cloud. Because in order to get to Don Corneo's residence to be one of the candidates for the brides, you need to get like, what would it be called? You need to get a invite from one of his generals, which are 3 of them. One of them is the owner of a club, which is, I don't know if he's gay or just queer. Well, I don't know. That's one guy, which he's not even an option because you're not able to talk to him until after you choose another one, one of your let's call them patrocinadores. Suitors. The other one's gonna be the owner for the Chocobo taxi system, and the other one's gonna be Madame M, which is she's like a palm masseuse, and it depends which one you use. There's gonna be different prices at the end for that side quest which is a side quest, but also gets involved with the original quest. In my case, I ended up choosing Madame M just because I wanted to try the hand masseuse thing. And there's a cutscene when, depending on how much you pay with her, either 30 gil, 300 gil, 3,000 gil. At this time, I've been fighting so much, I had like 60,000 gil. So I went like, let's splurge this. I went with a 3000, which is the special one.
The happy ending.
So you see,
Oh.
it has kind of a happy ending, but in a weird. This is gonna sound so racist, but in a weird Asian way. You know how they're into tentacles and shit like that? Apparently, they can come with a massage in their hand. Because the cutscene goes like Cloud's laying on the bed, and yeah, it's a bed. And then Madame M, all sexy and all kimono, ready to, you know, suck me a little bit more? No. She just goes and massages your palm, and Cloud's just making this face like, oh, oh. And he doesn't make a noise, but he's like, and then at the end, you just hear like a little pling sound. And then Cloud comes out, and Aaron's right there at the lobby waiting for him, like, Cloud, are you alright? And Cloud just comes to like kind of disheveled, like, oh,
I just want to go to sleep.
Like, oh, I could use a cigarette and a taco right now. But he comes out like, oh, walking like all too fucking relaxed, like he was made of jello. Which it's funny. But Madame M treats like shit Aaron. She doesn't like other women with Cloud because she takes an interest in him. So the only way that you can actually get that, well, before you got to Don Corneo's, after you choose which will be your suitor, you still need to get money to buy the special dress for Aerith, because actually you try to find a suitor for her to get in there. But here's when the whole thing, the guy for the club comes out, when you realize he's kind of a weird, because he takes an interest in Cloud. And he's like, you know what? You need to go into this arena and battle till the end. So you need to get the first prize to get enough money to buy, I think it's like 1 million gil for that dress for Aerith. In which in this moment you don't know which one you're gonna get, depending on what you choose previously.
So this is like
arena, you gotta go through the arena.
The Terry Crews of white chicks.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you go into the arena, battle, and you finish everything. Basically, who you need to beat will be the other suitor you didn't choose. So you gotta beat his fighters. In my case, it was a Chocobo owner, so he just had a bunch of Shinra soldiers under his wing and a bunch of robots they have too. So it was easy to beat. So we're in the meeting with Shinra. So whenever the meeting starts, that's where you're gonna see the original operator for Cat Seat. I don't remember that character, the little cat, which is a robot. He's the guy, the head for, I don't know, like public service, something like that. So in that meeting, you can actually tell that everything's changing there, because Hojo is more interested about dissecting Aerith so he can go to the promised land for the Cetras, which is the Aerith's people, which are also known as the Ancient Ones, and so on and so on. And then when you reach Shinra facilities, that's when you finally get to see another kind of character, which is Red 13, that little dog that talks. Now he becomes, in this game, he is actually a NPC, which is an unplayable character. The reason you're not able to use it, according to the developers, is because he came out too late in the game, so it wouldn't be kind of fair for the character, because you won't be able to build his level, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still like an NPC, like I said, so he'll be able to help you out around the whole fucking game through whatever is left. Now in this, the whole thing here in the Shinra lab where Hojo is, when you finally get to talk to him, he's just more interested in this game about about his experiments. Basically, when he looks at Cloud's eye, he's like, so you're one of my failed experiments. Cloud's is like, yeah, I'm a soldier. He's like, I don't remember a soldier like you. So you already know that everyone kind of starts to think that Cloud's just full of bullshit. Okay. So like I was saying, like Zack comes back here. Well, not back, but you finally see him as not a flashback, not a memory, more like a scene. You see him just standing all tired after fighting all of Shinra soldiers, this is from Crisis Core. But in this one, you don't see him laying on the ground dead or anything. that's when you go back to Cloud and everyone. So that's when you finally, all of you, start crossing that new white light that Aerith opens up with her ancient Tetra powers. And as soon as you go across it, you see a different scene with Zack actually picking up Cloud still all fucked up. Instead of like the original one. The original one, you see like Cloud regaining consciousness, and then that's when he starts taking the whole, let's say, Zack persona and grabs the Buster Suit for the first time, which is from Crisis Core. In this one, he starts walking just still hanging with by Zack because he hasn't come back straight up. He hasn't woken up, and Zack says like, "There it is, man. There's home. We'll finally go back." And that's when you realize like this is fucking different. That this is not something that even happened or that they wish to happen. Mm-hmm. And at that same time, you'll see Zack and Cloud going through another white light, and there you see Cloud from the game coming in and just going next to them, and then Aerith comes right behind Cloud, and she goes past Zack and Cloud, and then there's like a moment when she stops, and then she pulls her head up, and then and Zack does the same thing. Like they kind of noticed each other going through here. Now this is the end of the whole game right there. For me, this was like a mind-blowing thing because you're like, oh shit. So the next games that we'll know that shit that's gonna happen because that's the classic story. Like, are we gonna be able to change the whole story by decisions, or is this like this remake, it's actually a different timeline? For example, let's say something that someone went to the past and changed something, like in Back to the Future, and the future changed. Like, is this like that, or this is gonna be like another dimension or another reality, shit like that? Because this is my way of thinking what they were doing. Like, we're not gonna fuck around. We're gonna make a remake, but we're not gonna redo the whole original story because that's another game. Even though this is a remake, this is a different story now. And I don't know, it might be like the story that we create through our gameplay later on. I don't know, man.
And then we won't see that until 2030, so...
No, they already said it will come out for the PS5, so PS4 lasted, what, 4-6 years? So we still have another 4-5 years.
So for in the last year of the PS5, it'll come out so that the next one will be in the PS6.
So when you get the PS6, which will be nanobytes up your butthole, we'll be able to get it through our heads.
Anyways, so what do you give this game?
For me, it's a 10 out of 10. It is an amazing fucking remake with a whole different mindfuck over here by the end. Like the small things that they changed in the game that you start noticing until you reach almost the end of it. You're like, holy shit, this is not just a damn remake. This is more like, let's get more involved now with our characters. Like we weren't already involved with them from the original one. Because I still get sentimental when fucking Aerith dies. I hate that fucking part. But I still go through it. It is a classic, heartbreaking scene.
Yep.
And in this game, we can make the original mistake we make with the old 97 game. You are allowed to experience Aerith because you're gonna need her abilities. She becomes an OP character when you reach level 50, which will be the top of it. You won't be able to get more than that.
So now that they did this game, now they need to remake Chocobo Racing.
Well, for the Chocobo Racing, that would be when you reach. It would be in the second CD.
No, but there was a game. There was a whole like kart, like Mario Kart. It was called Chocobo Racing.
Oh yeah, I know which one.
And it had Squall, and it had Cloud, and it had the cactus, and the cactus didn't have a car.
Here's the thing.
He just ran.
I forgot to mention the Guardian Forces, your summons. When you summon them, they stay there for a while, but you're not able to summon them whenever you want to. There's gotta be a bar that appears there when your battles start getting difficult, and it'll charge up until you reach the whole level, and you'll be able to use your ability points to summon it. and for it to be able to do like really strong attacks, you're gonna have to use your ATV gauge. So it's a whole different thing. That's more like on Final Fantasy 15 kind.
All right. So, anyways, with that said, he gave it a 10 out of 10 after like 2 hours of this shit. Two disconnections.
Like 2 hours, 2 disconnections, and
anyways, they're not gonna know. But with that said, we're gonna thank Dr. Porn for joining us again. He'll probably join us some more later on. I'm gonna have one.
Yeah, we'll try to do this more frequently, but we can promise that so far.
We know
I'm far away now.
That the game traps are the ones that people used to like us to do together. So
yeah, the game traps. When it comes to the two of us together, they know us better for the game traps.
And we have a new fucking intro song for game traps. So we'll debut that later on. But anyways, with that said, thank you, Dr. Porn.
Will it be debuted in this game?
No, I don't think so because it doesn't have video. So I need somebody to make the video. So anyways, with that said, thank you guys for joining us. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. Remember to fucking @Nitro Podcast. We have a fucking email that we never fucking pimp, which is nitropodcast@gmail.com. If you need anything,
go ahead and send us your dick pics.
Don't send us your dick pics, please.
All right. What about pussy pics?
Send it to him. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next fucking episode.
I'll see you in the future.
Later, bitches. I'm out fucking. Don't hang up. But
later.
Ah.